Hey, Jeff here, your YouTube reviewer of New England brews, and welcome back. Today I'm going to be reviewing a beer which actually has its main headquarters on the West Coast. However, they have a brewery in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and that's Redhook. And Redhook has put out their late harvest ale, and it's something they put out every year between August and October. This year they have increased the ABV from 5.7 last year to 5.9 ABV this year. And it's an autumn style ale which I'm interested in trying out, so I'm going to get right into it by pouring it into my Redhook glass. And let's give it a crack. Whoa, yeah. There she goes. Got some smoke going on here. Difficult to see, but it's there and it's kind of filtering around the neck of the bottle as well. Now let's give it a pour. Okay, it's pouring out in kind of a subtle way. It's not a really loud pour. Sometimes these pours have a nice heavy bubbling sound, and I kind of like that. Let's get it a drop if I can. Put it up there so you can see a little better. As I look at this now, I see a really nice looking kind of copper chestnut colored beer with a fairly thin head. Not really a bad head. It's a head that's not quite a finger, maybe a little half a finger, maybe about a quarter of an inch or so. It's got a nice sort of silkiness to it, and it's bubbling down little by little, so I don't have a feeling that I'm going to see this head for very long during this tasting. But anyway, I'm going to give it a whiff and see what it smells like. Well, interesting. The aroma on this beer has a little bit of the maltiness, but it also has something that's kind of pear or fruit-like. Pears, peaches, maybe. Not apple, not pumpkin. It's got this kind of fruitiness, but it's like a pear, and maybe a peach, something like that. But it's fairly obvious when you do sniff it. It's not bad though, and there's also a bit of a malt going on. Let's give it a taste. Okay, the beer has a nice solid bitterness going on. Not a caramel malt, not really a fruity taste, unlike the aroma, which has a slight fruity aroma. The taste does not have any kind of fruitiness to it whatsoever. At least I don't notice any. Maybe just a little nutty, but that's probably not the best description either. But there's definitely a malt sensation going on here. But it's not a really sweet malt. It's more of a kind of a bitter malt. It's not really sugar sweet or anything along those lines, but you do notice that creamy honey texture of a malt that is noticeable in a lot of malt type beers. And there's a good bitterness going on here as well. It's akin to an English style bitter, but I think it's just got a little bit more of a bite to it. And I'm not talking about the alcohol level, I'm just talking about this kind of bitter bite that kind of clings to the back of my throat. And you just kind of notice it during the entire time. It just kind of lingers on, almost like an aftertaste. It's not really a problematic aftertaste. It's not a bad aftertaste, but you notice the flavor long after you've tasted the beer. At least I do. Now, unlike a lot of the autumn brews I have, I don't usually get them with this kind of a fruitiness going on, or this kind of a nuttiness. The autumns tend to be more spicy, and I don't really get any kind of spiciness going on in this particular brew. So I guess when you're talking about the style, it's probably not as good as some of the autumn ales I've had, but it's nice in its own way. So not a bad beer though. So that's it for today. This is Redhook Late Harvest Ale. I'd like to thank you for stopping by. I'll catch you again next time.